flour, sugar,
Oven.
out. Like, I don't even sleep sometimes because of cake. So it's really a lot of work.
Today we are joined by Tosin Lawal. She's the founder of Tea's Kitchen right here in Namibia. We're going to talk to her about her business and she'll tell us more about baking and this industry. Good afternoon, Tosin. Welcome to Africa Speaks.
Good afternoon, Sylvia. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for allowing us to invite you and
I'm really so happy to have you guys here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So let's start off on a personal note. Who is Tosin, and tell us a bit about your childhood.
Tosin is me. Oh, yeah. Okay. But Tosin is a girl that came to Namibia when she was 10 years old. She actually came to Namibia for studies only until grade 12 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then she will go back to Nigeria. But as God will have it, things changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, God always have, we always make a plan, but God always have the final say.
Yeah.
So I came to Namibia and for grade 7 to grade 12, I never really had the passion or the idea that I'm going to be here longer than that. So I'm a Nigerian actually.
Yeah.
I'm originated from Nigeria. So I came to Namibia and people know me as, oh, Tosin, this girl, that one, this. So yeah. That's Tosin. Tosin is somebody that, let me just say Tosin is me.
Yes, girl.
I guess more, you're going to know more about me as the interview goes on.
So T, when did you realize that you wanted to become a baker, or that you had a passion for baking, I must say?
Oh, that's a very serious question, because when I was young, I had this passion of, I want to become a banker and a baker. Even when people ask me, what do you want to become in life? I want to become a banker and a baker. So fine. When I finished my grade 12, I wanted to be to work in a bank, because back in Nigeria, if you want to become an accountant or something, not really an accountant, if you want to work in the bank, you need to study accounting.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to study accounting and to be an accountant and stuff like that. So, as God will have it, I decided to go for business management, because I read a lot about it and I'm like, business management, I can become my own boss, I can become an accountant, I can actually do anything that I want. So fine, I decided, okay, let me study business management. With business management, I can actually work in the bank.
Yeah.
So now the baking part came in because of COVID.
All right.
When COVID came, people were at home and stuff like that. I was actually in Rundu that time. So my mom that was here in Rundu, I told her, please buy ingredients. I want to make cake and stuff like that. Okay. So she bought, and okay, before that, let me take you back real quick.
Okay.
When I was in high school, I used to bake, you know, just normal baking and stuff like that. But the cake was hard. The cake was really hard, because I know it was hard.
Yeah.
And people really enjoyed it. I don't know how, but that really demotivated me, the fact that the cake was hard for me to continue baking in high school. So I never really looked into baking and stuff until university, I mean until COVID time, and I told the people at home, no, please buy ingredients so that I can bake and stuff. Fine. I started making muffins. So when I posted it on my status, people were like, no, we want cake and stuff like that. Somebody actually ordered the cake. Ooh, I wish I could show you right now. Somebody ordered the cake and I had the confidence. I'm like, okay, I'm going to bake this cake and stuff. I'm like, oh, I know, and stuff like that. When the cake came out, oh my word, you don't want to know. But people actually loved it that time. They were like, oh, this is nice, this is nice. That really motivated me to push more. So from there, I started looking up on watching YouTube channels and started talking to most of the people I know from Nigeria that bakes. So from there, that's where the whole tea thing came up, as in, okay, let me start baking, since people are asking. The demand is there. People are asking for more cakes, meaning they love my cakes. So let me start baking.
So that means that you didn't study to be a baker?
No, I didn't study to become a baker. I didn't go for any training to become a baker.
So you mentioned that you were studying business admin and at the same time baking.
Business management.
Business management,
yes.
And at the same time baking. How did you juggle the two?
Yeah. It was very difficult. Let me just say, it was difficult and nice at the same time. As a student, as in having money in your pocket. But at the same time, having to do the cake while you have tests and exams. Because I know I normally sleep around maybe 4 or 5 days. I wake up so early to study for a test and stuff. Okay, let's say today is Wednesday and the test is on Friday. Sorry. On Friday. I only study on Thursday. I know. Because the money is there, the others is there, and people are ordering. You know, things are becoming more interesting. But one thing I always put in my heart is that I need to pass, I need to graduate so that I can be able to use my knowledge to open up my own business so that I can be able to, what do you call it? I can be able to employ people and give employment to other people. So yes.
And the name Tea's Kitchen, how did you come up with that name?
Whew, okay, the name Tea's Kitchen actually came from Tosin. So I was like, Tosin, tea. Then I'm like, Tea's Kitchen, because I don't want to go for Tea's cakes, because I'm not going to specialize only on cakes. I'm going to specialize on donuts, brownies, what is that, more things and stuff like that. So the Tea's Kitchen is all about everything actually. So I never really wanted to focus on cake only. I'm focusing on a lot of things. So yes, that's where the name came up, because I'm like, oh, Tosin. So Tosin meaning tea. Tea. I actually went like To's Kitchen. I'm like, no. I'm like, no. So let me just put Tea's Kitchen, because it's like tea. I wanted to put the only tea, but I'm like, because I'm like, okay, people go like tea. So I'm like, Tea's Kitchen. So I'm like, okay, here we are. So I decided to register for it and do all the necessary papers. So here is Tea's Kitchen.
And here we are today.
Here we are today.
Tea's Kitchen. So
exactly.
So now with Tea's Kitchen, did you ever encounter people, because the word kitchen is so broad, people think, you know, you sell other type of food. Did you ever encounter people that thought that you sell food and not cakes due to the name Tea's Kitchen?
Not really. Not really, because I have a website and I have Instagram page. So I tell people, or before they contact me, I'm like, you can check on my Instagram page. So they never really looked into the fact that kitchen that has to do with food. They mostly know me as person that makes cake and cookies and donut and stuff like that. So not really.
All right. You spoke cookies, donuts. That's my next question. Apart from cakes, what else do you bake, or what else does Tea's Kitchen offer to the people?
Donuts, cookies, brownies, parfait, a lot of things actually, which I do for my own parties, so people can have a look and be like, oh, we want this and stuff like that. So that's what I always make sure I do the stuff for myself first. So people can have a look and be like, oh, T, we want something like this. And I post it there on Instagram. People will be like, oh, people will be like, I want something like this. I want it to be like this. I want it the way you made it and stuff like that. So yeah. All
right. How do you sell your products? Honestly. Because do you just work with orders, or do you also, because you say you also bake for yourself. Do you now sell that you have baked, or people order the products?
No, I don't actually sell them. This is what I do. This is what I actually did from the beginning. I think I didn't mention anything like that. When I started baking, I just baked and I gave people pieces. I'm like, oh, taste it. What do you think? What do you have to say about this? So whenever I bake for myself, I don't really want to, I don't really eat the cake, because I really don't want me to judge myself. I want people to judge me so that I can get the client and know what the client really wants. So this is what I do. I bake the cake for the house. I tell people, oh, you can come and pick up a cake, or you can come and pick up a slice, or I just surprise my client at the office and give them a slice. And they give their workmates, and from there, I get more clients. Yes.
I've seen your cakes. You have really outdone yourself with these cakes. I remember I even ordered a cake from you. How did you perfect your skill of making? Because your cakes are like over the top. They will see the pictures and they'll understand what I'm talking about. How did you perfect your skills, not having studied baking?
You know, I watch a lot of videos. For me, I just need to look at something. Once I look at something, I know how this thing is being done. So when I looked, especially my buttercream, buttercream is a very difficult icing to do because you need to make sure it's smooth. So I looked at it and I'm like, I looked at somebody's cake and I'm like, okay, this is how they go, this, and this. So there is a secret to buttercream that people don't really get it, because you need to make sure it's smooth. People thought you just go like, ooh, and then it's done. No, buttercream, it's a lot of work. So I just looked at it and I watched a video and I'm like, okay. Then I went and I did it. And the same way I watched the video, then I'm like, oh, okay. Then I put more of my own stuff on it. I'm like, okay, Tosin, do this, do that, do this, do that. Add this, add that. Because that's how some ingredients are being created. Like my vanilla cake. Chocolate cake. I actually have two different type of chocolate cake. There's one that's super moist because clients have different flavors, different stuff that they want. There's one that's like just normal chocolate cake that you can just eat, no too moist and soft and stuff like that. So I just decided, okay, I looked at something, I get it right, and then we move on. That's how things, and I actually think this is God's work, because I never went to school for this. I never went for training, and I keep improving. So all I can just say is God is here.
I almost said amen, but yes, amen to that.
Amen to that. Yes, let's say amen to that.
That's an amen to that. You know, business, everybody talks about finances, and I'm sure people that are watching, they want to hear the financial part of it. After how long did you start paying yourself from your business?
I would just say after 6 or a year, after 6 months or a year. Because I actually didn't have a capital for Peace Kitchen. There was no capital at all. Let me just say this quickly. So a client wanted to order a cake. I'm like, no, you need to pay full amount for it. Fine. They paid full amount, I buy ingredients, I bake the cake. I give them the thing, the profit, I keep it for myself. So that's how Peace Kitchen also started improving. There was no capital at all, there was nothing like that. I'm like, oh, girl,
just passion and the brain.
You are smart. So that's how the finance and everything, because then I started like, okay, I'm saving this one apart, I'm saving this one apart. I don't really pay myself, let's put it that way. I only use it when I'm like, okay, this amount, I can use it for this, to improve for this. You understand what I mean? I can use this money to buy another equipment for this. Like if a client wants something, for example, you want a Barbie cake, and I don't have the baking pan for Barbie stuff. I take out of the money, I use it to buy the pan and increase on my skill. But as for paying myself, I go like, okay, fine, this month I'm just going to take out 500 just to use it on myself, to improve on myself. Just, you know, as a person, as T, I know my business is different from me. Tosin is different from Peace Kitchen. That's what people don't get. You need to differentiate yourself from your business. So you should always do that. You should always do that, because once you put yourself as a sole trader, as putting yourself as your business, you end up finishing up your money, because you're like, oh, I'm going to get another money, I'm going to get another one. No, don't do that. Make sure you differentiate yourself from your business so that your business can grow, so that your business can have money. You made
a very great point that you had to reinvest back into your business to grow your business. So what is one of the biggest orders that you have ever gotten?
Ooh, I'm so proud to say this. I'm super proud to say this. It's from Peace Corps of Namibia.
Wow.
Like I got this order through a friend. So I got the orders and I'm like, can I really do this? Because it was quite big. I think it was something like the president's cake.
Wow.
Something like that. So I decided, I'm like, okay, fine. I'm going to take these orders. And it was 4 flavors in one. Vanilla, chocolate, red velvet, and carrot cake. So I had to, I'm like, okay, fine, I can do this. It's tea after all. You know, we can do this. So I started. I'm like, okay, fine, I'm going to do this. And the people, let me surprise you. I got a good review about that cake. Very good one. Like, I was so proud of myself. I was like, T, this is you. And I'm like, this is God using you to get more clients.
Yes, girl.
Because the people started asking for my details, like, who is this baker, who is this baker? So from there, Peace Corps of Namibia, I got the orders. They came back after a month again, they want another one. So they officially made me their baker, so yeah.
Since you said they came back and it was your biggest order, in terms of numbers, what's like the highest amount you've ever charged for a cake?
Let's say 4.8, 5,000. Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, that's the biggest.
And what's the most challenging cake that you've ever made?
Oh, I have 2.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this question. I have 2. The first one was a book cake I had to make for a friend. They have their book lunch. Yo, Sylvia. I think I need to make my shirt properly for that. You know, I had to use edible sheet for that cake. It's a book cake. I made the first cake. I delivered it. No, this is not the type of cake we want. We want it a bit smaller and stuff. And the thing is starting at 4. And this is already at 12. I'm like, okay, fine. I can pick up the cake. I'll redo it and stuff. The first cake, water went on the sheet. And you know, the edible printing, I'm like, oh my God. And per sheet is like 100 and something to print out. So I'm like, okay, cool. This is my client. I need to make them happy. So if I make a loss in this part, it's me trying to make a client happy. So I went back to the cake shop. I went to go print another one. And this is the problem. The size was the problem in the first place. Because I had to go early in the morning, the first cake, I had to go early in the morning to go and make sure the sizes are fine and stuff like that. Okay, fine. So after the call, I went back again. They were like, no, our machine is not working for the print. I'm like, oh no, guys, please, at this moment, I need help. These people are waiting for me. And they were like, okay, fine, we'll look for what to do for you and stuff like that. So we made a plan. We print out the stuff. I came home. No, it's 2 o'clock. We are waiting for you. We are waiting for the cake. I'm like, yo. My kitchen was a mess that day.
I can imagine.
Yo, and I was sweating. No, I had to, because I think I'm sweating. Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, I think I'm sweating again. And then I came home. I cut the stuff. Water went on the stuff again. I'm like, yeah, God, if you want to punish me, punish me. Because I decided I wanted to be like, oh, should I switch off my phone? I'm like, no, this is not professional. No. So let me just pick up the phone. I'm like, you know what, guys? I'm busy. I'm almost done with the cake. Just give me time. No, but in 4 o'clock, what? I'm like, you know, I will deliver it personally to you. And I will make sure everything is fine with the cake. So I made the cake smaller. I had to cut off a lot of things and make it back. So fine. I delivered the cake on time. And they were like, oh, thank you, T. I'm like, And then the second one, let me quickly say this, was a giant cupcake cake. Yeah, let's say cupcake cake. Cupcake cake, yeah. A very giant one. I baked the cake, and when I put the cake together, they started falling off because they were super soft, and I think it was not in the fridge enough. I mean, for enough time and stuff like that. And this lady came from Kobabas for the cake. The photo shoot for the kid's birthday, it was the first birthday, was supposed to be around 10, 11 there. And this, we are talking about 7 in the morning. The cake it's a flop. I just called her. I'm like, listen, I have a situation here. The cake fell off. There's nothing I can do. Please just give me time to quickly bake another one and deliver this to you. And she's like, let me call my makeup artist. Let me call the photographer and see what. She called, and then they gave her time until maybe 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Yo, you should see me running around. I had to go and get the what, get this, put. So later on, I managed to put the stuff together, but delivering was a challenge for me. Because then, you know, the car was moving and the cake was moving. I'm like, oh, here and there. God, please just be with me. Because if this cake get messed up, I'm in big trouble. This lady came all the way from Kovares for me, for my cake. So I shouldn't disappoint her. But at the end of the day, we managed. Everything went well, and she was super happy with the cake. Yeah,
I'm glad. I'm glad. You said she came from Kovares. How do you cater to clients outside Windhoek?
I cater by telling them, if you want a cake from Peace Kitchen and you want it out there, please get somebody that you know, so that they can be careful with the cake. And it has to be buttercream cake, not not buttercream, but fondant, because buttercream will get it will melt and stuff like that. So fondant can actually work perfect. I remember baking for my sister, and from here to Rundu, and the cake went. It actually reached safe. Like I was so surprised. I'm like, oh, okay. So from there, people started ordering from Swakop, from Marandis, and they were like, no, we know somebody that's coming. You can give them the cake. So yeah.
And how is your payment policy in Peace Kitchen in terms of ordering the cake?
You have to pay in full.
Okay.
Full payment 2 days in advance before I bake. Because some client might pay 50%. On the day of the cake, you won't see anybody. They'll be like, no, it's fine. We don't need the cake anymore. And I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to do with the cake now?
Yeah.
I can't sell it. Your kid's name is all over here and stuff like that. There's nothing I can do. But yeah, I'm always like full payment before I send in your orders and start with your orders.
All right.
Yeah.
Are you guys based anywhere else apart from Windhoek?
Me. Whenever, let's put it like as in me. Wherever I am, there's Peace Kitchen. For example, in Rundu, when I'm in Rundu, there's Peace Kitchen. When I'm here, there's Peace Kitchen. But actually, I have a shop I open up in Rundu. Peace Bakery Boutique. It's actually a boutique for baking items only.
Okay.
So from there, it's still there. We are still.
But it's open.
It's open, but it's going to be open to the public September. Okay. The beginning of September. So wherever tea is, there's Peace Kitchen.
But are you thinking of doing the same for Windhoek, opening the bakery boutique here as well?
Exactly. All over Namibia.
Perfect.
All over Namibia. Actually, Africa. So yeah.
Then we can always come back when you do the opening. We'd like to be part of the grand opening.
I would really love that.
So every business does experience challenges. How do you deal with challenges or negative reviews that you get?
You know what, Ne? I do get what every business do, as you said, every business do. So this is what I do. I talk to my clients and I give them 50% refund back. I'm like, I'm sorry, this had to come up because I know you trusted me with your kid's cake or you trusted me with your cake. So I disappointed you. I'm so sorry. So I'm going to give you back 50% of refund of what you gave me. And I hope you come back next time. So with a client like that, they go like, oh, okay, thank you so much for getting back to us. Thank you so much for the 50%. We really appreciate it. We understand. We know, we heard that your cake is good. But because of this and this happened, it's fine. And you see the client coming back again and stuff like that. Yeah.
So Namibia has a lot of bakers that are emerging. You know, the competition is tough. How do you stand out?
My ingredients, my flavors, my design, my pricing, because I make sure it's reasonable to the community.
Yes.
So, yes.
Your pricing.
My pricing.
Walk us through your prices, please.
So, I have a mini cake. There's a mini cake, there's small, there's medium, there's large, different you know, it depends on the flavor, the design and stuff like that. So I start from 250 to 80. That's so rare for you to get a bakers that start with that, because the things are very expensive, very, very expensive. So I start with 2 something. I'm like, because I know how difficult it is. I know I still make profit out of it, but I need to make sure I give my client a good price so that they can come for a bigger one so that I can make more profit. You need to be smart in that way. You need to be super smart. So from there, my client keep coming back, and
And here we are today, and Tea's Kitchen is growing and growing.
Tea.
And how has Tea's Kitchen changed your life?
Oh, in a very positive way. Ooh, in a very, very positive way, because people now know me as that person as, oh, she's the owner of Tea's Kitchen. If you want a cake, you can ask her. Oh, now people want to be friends with me because they want cake. Because we want to learn how to...
Haibo.
Yeah. People go like, oh, hi, you look nice to them. I'm like, oh, thank you. Do you have any cake? I'm like,
Not today.
Not today, not today. But yeah, it really changed my life in a good way, because then I get to employ people. I get to give somebody a job. I get to support my family. I get to be me, who I am. I get to look good for myself. I get to have something in my pocket.
Yes.
I get to give tithe in church. I get to, you know, it really did a very good thing in my life, because without Tea's Kitchen, I could be looking for a job right now. I could be frustrated right now because I'm like, oh, I'm broke.
Yeah.
I don't have this money. I can buy roll-on, I can buy perfume, I can buy this. But with Tea's Kitchen, orders are coming in, money is coming in, people are happy, I'm making sure I'm fine, everybody's fine. I'm supporting my people there in Nigeria, I'm supporting people here in Namibia, I'm making sure everyone is happy. So yeah.
You spoke about employees. Do you have employees, and how many do you have?
Let's say 2.
Okay.
Okay, let's say 3, which one will be joining us soon, because I make sure I employ people, because it's a lot of work.
Yes.
It's really a lot of... People think baking is all about putting flour, sugar, out. Like, I don't even sleep sometimes because of cake. So it's really a lot of work. So I'm just happy that I have people to help me out and support me in terms of baking. So yeah.
And on average, how many cakes do you maybe bake in a day?
In a day, I can take up to 3 cakes. Okay. Let's just say 3 cakes. But in a week, when the business is fine, I take up to, let's say, maybe 9, 10, 11. It depends on how the client comes to me.
Are there ever moments in your business where it's a bit low?
Yes. Yes, actually, yes. Thank you. So you get a time that you're trying to do, you need money.
Yeah.
Okay, the saving is there, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to touch this money. And you need that money, and people are not even coming in. No orders, no nothing, and you're just there like, what is going on? One thing I just do is just pray. Yeah. No, I just do that. I just go like, God, let your will be done. Please, I need orders so that I can be able to do this. And then boom. You just say, oh, T, we want this type of cake. What? Are you in Windhoek? Yes, I'm in Windhoek. What? We need it by tomorrow. You know, most of the bakers don't do that. They don't take orders on a very short notice, because I do understand them, because it's a lot of work. But I do understand it, but at the same time, I need the money, and I'm not doing anything, so I take in the orders.
Why not? So talk to a young man or woman out there who is, you know, who wants to start a business, or who just feels like, maybe the money I have in my pocket is not enough. How can they start, or what would you advise someone in that position that's unemployed, sitting at home, doing nothing?
Okay, first and first, money is never enough. Never. That one, you should always put it in your head that money is never enough. But at the same time, if you put your heart to it, if you go like, I want to do this, with the little you have, you can be able to make it more. And don't forget, you have to put God in it. If you put God in it, everything will work perfectly well. Put what you have. Don't just say, no, God is going to make it happen. And you're just sitting at home. You're like, I'll wait for God to do this. You know, the people will come to my house and then, yeah, they'll ask me if I do this. Go to people. Go to people. Do a tester. Do something. Tell them, no, no, no. Okay, the other day I was in a cab and somebody came in and be like, oh, how are you guys? I'm like, oh, cool. And anything for Friday? And I'm like, I'm baking. The person was like, oh, you bake? I'm like, yes, I bake. And I was like, oh, I've been ordering cake from this, and it's much more expensive. How much are your cake and what? It was just yesterday the person ordered. Wow. And I'm like, oh, wow.
So you market yourself everywhere you go.
I'm T. I have to T. So from there, you should really market yourself. Don't be shy because you're like, no, people won't really want this. No, I don't want people to do that. No. Market yourself everywhere you go so people can know what you do. And at the same time, with the little you have, start with something. That is how T's Kitchen started. Without starting with, oh, okay, you can bring in your orders. If I wanted to do this, I'm like, no, I'm not good yet. I will wait for when I'm perfect for me to, I won't be here today. So I will advise people to really do that. With the little you have, start with something and put God in it and everything will work right.
All right, all right. Where can people find you? Your social media, how do people get hold of you?
Oh, so I'm on Instagram, T's Kitchen, and my number is on Instagram. We also have a website. You can just click on T's Kitchen. Every information is there. Just go on Instagram and they click on anything kitchen. I think I had a customer like that, sorry, that went like, I just click anything kitchen and your name pop up and I'm like, oh. And the way you respond to me was just so good. Yes. And I felt so good. So I'm like, oh, okay. So you can get me or you can get us on Instagram, T's Kitchen. My number is there. Every details, any little thing you need is there.
Final question. What's your wish for T's Kitchen?
My wish. I need a crown for that. I really... I really need a crown for that. My wish for T's Kitchen, kitchen. My wish for T's Kitchen is to be all over. Not only Africa, but all over the continent. Because the dream I have for this, it all started as a joke. Yeah. It wasn't something so serious. I was like, okay. But then now, I want to be there. I want T's Kitchen to be there where every bakers are. You're like, what's up, who is that? And whenever I walk in there, like, oh, that's the owner of T's Kitchen. That's just like Cake Boss. So yeah, I want to be there all over Africa, all over the continent and be like, oh, that's T's Kitchen. So that's my plan. That's my plan for T's Kitchen, to be all over, to create job for a lot of people. That's actually the aim, to create job for a whole lot of people, to have factories all over Africa, all over the continent, all over the world. So
and
yes.
to hopefully to duplicate yourself in other young ladies as well.
Because I have T's Kitchen. T's Kitchen is a generational something. It's not something for me, myself. That's why I'm working hard. So my children, my children's children, my great-great-grandchildren, my generation can go like, oh, our grandmother was the owner of T's Kitchen. Now we are the owners. Now we are taking over. Now this, so that my generation will not suffer what I suffered. So yes.
Okay. And we from Africa Speaks wish you that your dream will become a reality. That when we go out there to interview people in Ghana, in Zambia, we'll find a T's Kitchen somewhere.
You will.
Yes.
No, I need to give you a bow for that. You will.
I like her energy.
You will surely do. You will surely get that. Trust me. Very soon you will. Okay. By this time next year, it will come to pass.
And we'll be here. Give us a call, and we will come and do a follow-up.
You will be the first one to be called and be like, you already know. Just don't say anything. Be like, we will be there. That's all I want to hear from you guys.
Yes, girl. Yeah. Thank you so much, Tosin, for gracing us, this honor to interview, to hear more about you, your story. I'm sure you have inspired men and women out there as they watch. And I'm sure now that they know where you are, you will be getting orders flooding in. Be ready for that.
I'm ready for you guys. As you can see, This kitchen is ready for you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming. I really appreciate it. It's really such a great honor to have you guys here, and thank you.
Thank you. All right, folks, that's all we had for you on Africa Speaks. In the words of Tosin, she says, start where you are, start small, and money is never enough. All right, we'll be seeing you next time. Remember to follow her, that's Tea's Kitchen, Nello Media as well as Henok TV, from Message, and everyone right here. Goodbye.